I'm currently 4 months pregnant with my friends with benefits baby. I'll call him James. I haven't known James for long, but we both agreed to keep the baby and co-parent as best as possible. I am very close to my family and want my child to have a good family situation. Unfortunately, James is not close to his remaining family, his father Ben and sister Kathy, and has not spoken to them for 5 years. According to James, when he told his dad that he wanted to quit his managerial job in a Fortune 500 company and start his own business, Ben told him that he was a fool and didn't support him. The business struggled during its infancy, and James asked Ben for help. His family is relatively wealthy, but Ben refused and warned Kathy not to help. James's business has taken off, and he is doing well for himself now, but never forgave Ben and Kathy for not helping. As far as I know, Ben never reached out to apologize to James. Kathy eventually did, but James didn't accept it. I told James that I understand if he wants nothing to do with Ben and Kathy, but I would like our child to know his grandfather and aunt and cousins. James, on the other hand, doesn't want Ben and Kathy to meet our child, ever. He says he can support our child himself, but I told him that it's not about financial support, but about our child knowing his side of the family. I decided that I'd reach out to Ben and tell him I'm pregnant and would like him to be a part of our child's life if he wants to. It would be up to Ben to decide. I'm not asking him for anything anyway. Ben was happy to hear from me, apologized, and said he would like to have a paternity test after the baby is born, but if all is well, he would like to be a part of the child's life. He invited me over for lunch this weekend to meet in person with Kathy and her family. He also told me to call him if I ever need anything, which I thought was nice of him. I'm not saying that he wasn't an idiot to James before, but I believe people can change and become kinder, especially as they get older. I told James that I talked to his father, and he got angry, saying I had no right to contact his family without his permission. He says that our child is also his child, so he should have a say on who is and is not to be in our child's life. I told him that I think I'm perfectly within my rights to contact the grandfather of our child, who is also my child. I am not asking James to talk to his father or go with me to lunch this weekend. He can keep staying away from Ben and Kathy all he likes, but I think it's crossing the line for him to tell me to stay away from Ben and Kathy myself. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You're a massive idiot. What you did is an enormous betrayal of James's trust, and it wasn't your place to do so. James is correct in that he does get a say in who was in his child's life. It would be best if you had kept talking to James about the issue, not going behind his back. In the future, when James goes around you and does something you don't like, remember your actions here. She is not even fazed that Ben asked her for a paternity test after the baby is born. She doesn't care about the insult to her fidelity and is only bothered by the monetary benefits she can reap once the child is born. I can see why the fiancé has trust issues with his father, and OP did the same thing to the fiancé. Well done. Ben may want to be sure he's related to the child before getting emotionally attached. On the other hand, he could want proof of the relationship to him to pursue other avenues of contact or control. Please also remember that James's break from his family is because his father was controlling. James made a career decision his father didn't like. That's the sort of person you're so eager to bring into your and your child's life? Don't do the test for Ben. It could just give him ammunition, and he can take the baby away from unfit mommy like OP. Yes, OP, you are the idiot. He's estranged for a reason. You went behind his back and thought you knew better than him. So they're willing to treat their child like crap, haven't talked to them in 5 years, and these are the type of people you want around your child? Huge idiot that overstepped boundaries. You have a good relationship with your parents and are blind that other families aren't like that. I'm fat and happy. I know this really upsets people, but I'm proud to overcome eating issues, so I couldn't care. I go to the gym 4 times a week and eat well mostly, but I don't deprive myself. If I want KFC, I'm going to eat it. My goal isn't to lose weight, but to build my strength and fitness. If weight loss comes naturally, that's fine, but I don't strive for it. I'm fit and can keep up with my friends when hiking, but I'm obviously bigger than them. When I first gained weight, it was a struggle to be included in activities like hiking because they never invited me, but I proved myself over time. We catch up for monthly dinners provided no cases in our state. One of my friends made a beautiful paella and fixed the plates up in the kitchen before bringing them out, along with garlic bread. When she brought mine out, she said I dished you up a little less because of all the carbs, in front of everybody. And it confused me because I don't watch carbs. I looked at the dish, and I had about half the portion of what my friend next to me had, and only one slice of garlic bread, when the others had 3 pieces. I thanked her for thinking of me, but told her that I don't watch carbs, so I can have a whole portion, and that I was excited to try the food because it looked great. She asked me if I thought I should eat a full meal, because I was looking good, losing weight lately, and she didn't want me to ruin my progress. I promised her that I would be happy with a regular serve. This would not have been an issue if the portions were slightly different, but it was an entree versus main size meal kind of difference. When she brought out my plate again, I thanked her and we left it. After that, the vibe was weird, but we still had fun. I was the last to leave as I helped my friend clean up and thanked her again for the meal. While we were washing the dishes, she mentioned that she was sorry, that she didn't want to be the reason I put it back on, meaning the weight. I replied it wouldn't be the end of the world if I did, and that I felt awkward that she mentioned the carb thing in front of a table of 7. She then turned it on me and said that I made her feel uncomfortable for saying something about the size difference and that I put a damper on the night. Not the idiot. She made it awkward, not you. If she was really under the impression that you wanted a much smaller portion, she should have just brought the pan of paella out and let people help themselves. OP, not the idiot at all. I'm so sorry your rude friend tried to push the same toxic diet culture crap back onto you after you've been so successful breaking out of it. It sounds like she didn't mean any harm, but please do so if you need to take some distance from her to protect your progress and mental health. She didn't even have a conversation about it. She unilaterally decided for OP what she could and couldn't eat, with no input from OP, and then doubled down when OP disagreed. The friend clearly has her own food and diet issues and needs not to project them onto OP. I don't know if the friend knows about OP's ED history, but if she does, it's absolutely idiot behavior to be forcing diet portions on her. And generally, it's idiot behavior to meddle in someone's weight unasked or to equate weight with worth. OP, you are not the idiot, and you need to let your friend know this was unacceptable and never do it again. Why did she cook a meal that was 99% carb if she thought she was catering for a friend who wouldn't be able to eat it? Not the idiot. She's appallingly rude, to the point of being life-threateningly reckless with her actions and words, if she knew or even suspected you had eating issues. Yesterday, I, female, went to Target to buy some clothes for myself. There was one item that I was looking for but could not find. Since my 18-year-old son works there, I figured it would be okay to look in one of the open back rooms. Incidentally, I ran into him while I was there, and he was pushing a cart that happened to have the item that I was looking for. So I went ahead and grabbed it, but when he saw me, he yelled at me and demanded that I put it back and get out of the back room. I refused because he wasn't there to shop, and these items are for people who shop there. He then started to throw a giant tantrum, saying that it was for some order. I asked him who it was for, and he couldn't tell me. He ended up calling over a supervisor, and after some more arguing, I eventually got kicked out of the store because I wanted to buy an item. He is currently not willing to speak to me right now. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Just because your son works there does not mean you, the mother, has any privilege at the store. If he is taking items for an order, do not interfere, since he might get in trouble or get fired for messing something up. Instead, you should ask him to help you check that item. A quick tip: don't go in the back rooms at stores by yourself, because I've witnessed instances where people get banned from the store because of it. Trust me, they remember your name and face, and it can lead to you getting arrested if you keep trying to return. You are the idiot. He was putting together an order for a customer, which means that the items in the cart were already spoken for. Would you have done the same if you'd seen the item you wanted in another customer's cart? Just taking it for yourself, even though they had found it first? It's no different, except you could have also gotten your son in trouble. So actually, it's worse. Everyone knows that the back room is a store for staff only. It makes no difference that your son works there. You can't just go in there and help yourself, as well as being potentially unsafe. There could be forklifts in operation, etc. It would completely mess up the inventory. I'm going to be honest, I get the impression that OP would have taken that out of another customer's cart when they weren't looking, considering how little respect she has for her son, much less strangers. Also, OP, if it wasn't abundantly clear to you yet, you are the idiot, and I feel awful for your son. I, 23 female, and my husband, 24 male, have opened our home to his parents as they visit for a week. We live in Central California, where it's been in the hundreds, and it's a dry heat. So I keep our home at 70 all day and all night. We have solar panels, so our bills aren't too high. I came home today, and my thermostat was set to 85. It was better than outside, but still extremely hot. So I turned it back down to 70 and went to the kitchen and living room to greet my in-laws. About an hour later, I noticed that the house was getting hot again, and I went to check. And someone touched the thermostat again and put it to 85. I asked who did this, and my mother-in-law said it was her. She said that it was too cold, and I was just burning my husband's hard-earned money down the drain, and that I was selfish. I made $160K a year, and my husband only $60K. Not that it's super important, but I'm the one who pays most of the bills. I told her that she was out of line and needed to not touch the thermostat again. So I went and I called my husband about the issue, and he said that she was out of line, but that to be nice, we should just meet in the middle with the thermostat until they leave on Saturday. I told him no. I told him I refused to be disrespected in my own home and set our thermostat to a specific temp because it's comfortable to us. He told me to just be nice until he got home, which was in an hour. So I stayed in my room and it got so hot. I was sweating even with the fan on, and this woman set it to 95. I was angry. I told her that if she was too cold to wear a sweater or get a blanket, she needed to get a hotel if she didn't like that. My husband said that I was being dramatic. Am I the idiot? Edit. Mother-in-law is 52. She is not elderly. Mother-in-law and I have always had our issues. This isn't new. When I was 20, my husband and I got pregnant, but we lost the baby, and she called me a murderer and then followed by a gold digger. She and my husband didn't talk for 6 months after that. He was in pain from not talking to his mom. She ended up apologizing and I accepted it. However, I didn't go to his family functions until last year because I was still hurt. When we go visit, we stay in a hotel. And also, my husband likes it at 70 and even sometimes drops it down to 65. Before we moved in together, when we were dating, it was something we discussed. I grew up in a home where no one touched the thermostat, and you never touch someone else's because you don't pay the bills. Haha, no, not the idiot. You don't touch someone else's thermostat, period. Especially putting it in the 80s in the middle of summer, let alone the 90s. If she's cold, she can go outside. Try to see if a thermostat lockbox is worth the investment, just in case something happens like this in the future. I want to give some context for the Celsius users here. OP says the average temp is about 100 F, which is around 37 to 38 degrees Celsius. Mother-in-law set the gauge to 85 F, which is about 29 to 30 C. Next, OP set it to a more reasonable 70 F, which is a much more comfortable 20 to 21 C. And then mother-in-law, in her utter pettiness, set the gauge to 95 F, which is a solid 35 C. OP isn't being dramatic, as Mummy's boy puts it. OP is being disrespected in her own home, having her aircon touched despite repeated requests it is left alone, and having it spitefully turned up to an uncomfortable temperature. I'm Aussie, so I'm used to some heat in the summer. Still, if anyone pulled the stunt my mother-in-law pulled, the in-laws would be booted out of the house and told to find a hotel, and Mummy's boy would be sleeping alone. Yes, what temperature is correct is irrelevant. She's trying to make a point that she's in control in your home, and you can't let that stand. And your husband needs to stop telling you to put your own needs aside. I, 20 female, feel I know what everyone's going to say, but I figured I might as well ask. I am, like most college students, broke. The laptop I've been using crashed and is completely unsalvageable, leaving me without a way to do a lot of the writing and editing projects I need for school. My best friend, 20 female, comes from a relatively well-off family, and as a result, doesn't face the same struggles that a lot of people in our friend group do when it comes to getting supplies and equipment for school. The laptop I currently had is one she gave me 2 years ago when she upgraded to a new laptop, which I was and am very grateful for. The issue comes in now. She recently decided that she wants to switch from Samsung to Apple when the latest watch and phone come out, and as she is prone to do, she went all out buying into the new ecosystem. One of the things she bought was a MacBook she has admitted she doesn't need and hasn't even unwrapped it or taken it out of the box yet, and has instead just stuck it on top of her closet until she decides to use it. So the computer she has now is a $2,500 top-of-the-line laptop that she only uses to watch Netflix, play The Sims, and sometimes writes papers. Knowing that she bought a new laptop, I asked her if there was any way I could have her current laptop since she now has an entirely new one. She said no, that even when she decides actually to unwrap and use her MacBook, she's still keeping her current laptop because she wants to play The Sims on it, since it has the top-of-the-line graphics and sound. She offered me the, admittedly also top-of-the-line, tablet and keyboard setup she has and never uses instead. I can't use the tablet to do the work I need to do, so that won't work. And I told her as much, and she says she understands and let her know if I change my mind. Initially, I let it go because her stuff is her stuff, and she can do whatever she wants with it. But the more I thought about it, the more frustrated I got. I went to her again and basically begged her to either use her current laptop or her unused MacBook, and even offered to pay her on a payment plan, but she refused. I got frustrated and told her she's incredibly spoiled and takes for granted what she has. And now she's told me she needs a break from our friendship. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. It's not up to you what she does with her money. If she's rich enough to spend money on a MacBook to use it as a paperweight, then good for her. It's not like she's even selfish either. She's already given you a laptop and offered you a tablet, but you're still going back and asking for more. I understand your frustration at seeing someone wealthy be frivolous with money, but you can't get upset with her for not gifting you another laptop. She probably wants a supportive friend rather than someone who keeps asking for more. You are the idiot. I am sorry your life is more difficult than hers. That doesn't give you a right to her things. It also doesn't give you a right to judge how she uses her things. Believe it or not, you're the spoiled brat right now. She was kind enough to let you have her old laptop, and now you feel entitled to everything she has? Ridiculous. Get over yourself. In another comment, OP mentions that the friend also gives them rides home from work so they don't have to take the bus, saving them hours a week commuting. So, yes, you are the idiot and a beggar. You used her laptop, which broke, and didn't save money to replace it. That's on you. She's not your electronics ATM. Go to a pawn shop or look online where people sell used items. Go to the school library or call your family.